but we've got help today, which is nice. We've got Callum Flynn, who's with us again, for Lancashire supporters. No, Callum, he's been with us for a couple of games now through the early part of this season. For Hampshire fans, Callum is the captain of England's disability team, and he's part of our commentary team today. So we'll bring Callum in about half an hour or so. So we've got additional help today, which is always nice. Got Mohammed Abbas to open up the bowling from the Grosvenor Road end, albeit Mike from the PA described it as being a Paul Edwards Memorial end, something like that. Of the Paul
He's still alive.
Well, I thought that, yeah. I thought it was a bit harsh. The Paul Edwards tennis court end or something like that. Yeah. Right, whose club this is. Just lives around the corner. So he runs away from the tennis courts and balls. Oh, that's chipped away into the onside by Bohannon. Bouncing just in front of Mason Crane at mid-wicket. Looped up, and for a second Crane was in the game. Bounced maybe 2 or 3 yards in front of the Hampshire leg spinner.
Maybe the first example today of the two-pace nature in the pitch.
Yeah, there's just a little, perhaps, example of that through the course of yesterday, wasn't it? But Lancashire consistently bowled a really good line and length and just kept the pressure up all day. It's chopped away by Bohannon. Bouncing out to backward point where Felix Organ fields and there's no run.
Yeah, a few of the edges sort of dropping short of the slips when the others sort of going through at a nice pace. But you remember that starting day 2, this ball is already into its 37th over, so it's not like Hampshire was starting with a new ball here.
Quite an abrasive outfield too, isn't it? You think you're going to get battered a little bit through the course of the day. Sure. Runs for Bohannon, cut away through the offside, in front of square, towards the boundary. 4 runs, brings up Lancashire's 150 as well, 152 for 1. Bohannon's out there actually, which is good to see. He got a nasty blow on the arm, didn't he, at the back end of yesterday. It's quite a long stoppage while Bohannon's forearm was assessed by Sam Byrne, the Lancashire physio, but thankfully nothing untoward kind of developed from that overnight. He's okay to resume. Leaves this ball from Abbas, taken by Ben Brown. There's no run. 152 for 1, so the lead of 10. 42 all out. What was the view from the Hampshire camp last night, Kevin?
Poor day, bad day, another sort of adjectives that would go around that. Yeah, I mean, they know they've had a bad day. It happens, unfortunately, but it's how you come back from that.
Bass comes over the wicket and balls to Bohannon, left by Brown. There's no run.
I think that what was very interesting, apart from the fact that one side selected 3 spinners and one side selected 1, is that even though Lancashire won the toss and put Hampshire in, Hampshire would have batted.
Yeah.
Now, when you see the way the pitch played first 2 sessions and then the last session, taking nothing away from how well Salt and Bohannon played, that really, you know, Hampshire had the hardest part of the pitch to play on.
The Bass to Bohannon, shuffles back into the crease, leaves it to the gloves of Ben Brown. It's the end of the over. 4 off it, that shot that Bohannon carved away through the offside for 4. So he's on 16, Salt's on 84. 152 for 1, lead of 10 for Lancashire.
The other problem Hampshire have, as well as being way behind in the game, is that you just look at the respective run rates. In the Hampshire innings, they were scoring at less than 2.5 and over. So that's just how much hard work it was for them. Their innings ending in the 61st. And Lancashire here are scoring over 4 and over. So the run rate itself is a bit of a problem for Hampshire because the game just gets away from them a bit too quick. But it just shows that how much easier Lancashire are handling the situation and the batting conditions than Hampshire did. Here's Barker, he's bowling to Salt. Salt as he edged that nearly through to the keeper. He was having a little flick at that one outside the off stump.
There's a wee bit of good fortune went Lancashire's way yesterday too. I mean, Balderson got a very nice 50, didn't he? But he played and missed quite a few.
Did.
A bit of a good look along the way, perhaps.
Yeah, the new ball did a little bit for Hampshire, no doubt about that. And yeah, on another day, I mean, as well as he played, he would have been out for a few. But on the day that Hampshire were having, it was really going to happen.
Yeah, that could happen, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Match situation dictates the luck that you have, isn't it? Here's Barker, balls to Salt. That was left alone outside the stump.
Got wide and got even wider.
Yeah, he's angling it across the right-hander here. I mean, Salt hasn't started quite as confidently as he played yesterday, but again, that happens overnight. It's, you know, you feel a little bit different at the crease. The match situation which you get wrapped up in probably takes a little time just to sort of get into it again, but Salt looked very compact yesterday. Maybe not quite so in these early stages. Barker looking to exploit the angle across the right-hander. Comes in again. Bowls. Salt's off the back foot. It's gone out to point. How many times has he played that shot? That's why Hampshire have the deep point. That's Mason Crane there. That position has been employed virtually the whole time Salt has been out there. It's clearly an area that he favours, but clearly an area that Hampshire want to keep the runs down to a minimum. Quite happy to give them a single, but don't want to be conceding too many boundaries through that spot.
Probably an element to what we saw yesterday, wasn't it, with regards to boundaries that were conceded? Quite a few.
Yeah.
It's probably a little bit too many for Hampshire's liking. The scoring rate was, as you say, kind of 4-0, but there was 12 boundaries for Balderson in his 51. It was just too many, then, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, you know, in a 4-day game, 4-0 is too much. Yeah. You know, in no matter what the situation, even if Hampshire were on top, it's still a few too many. You know, just over 2. Which Lancashire kept Hampshire down to. That, you know, that's manageable, isn't it? Even if you're not taking wickets for a little while, the game's not moving very far forward as that's turned away by Bohannon on the leg side down to a deep backward square. Mohammed Abbas is fielding.
It was 35 overs yesterday, and we had 24 fours, something like that, wasn't it? It's in that.
Yeah, it's too many.
That region. Yeah, there was just not really much sense. I think when Balderson got out, there was a period where you felt like there was a bit of control there for the Hampshire bowlers, but it wasn't much before. And even with the new ball that did a bit, there was a bit of good fortune for a couple of player misses. Still, you felt just wasn't much control, really.
That's right. It's Salt back on strike to Barker, who bowls, and Salt's just played that away on the onside. Trying to play that a little straighter. Bohannon has 17, Salt 85. They started on 12 and 76 respectively, just about 11 minutes ago. So the runs are still flowing. A couple of plays and misses from Salt, been an edge.
You get value for it, though, here, won't you? It's a pretty quick outfield.
Do. Still very straw-coloured. And it'll get even browner by the end of today, I should imagine. Somebody was suggesting there might be a thunderstorm later on, or late on. So, he tries to cut that one, and that's gone through to Ben Brown. Salt, it's not quite his compact self that he was yesterday. 154 for 1 at the end of that over. Lancashire lead on the first innings by 12.
Well, I mean, there is a weather kind of warning for the possibility of thunderstorms, but it suggested nothing until kind of after 6 o'clock on the Met Office website.
Well, hopefully with 3 spinners in the Hampshire side, we'll be off the pitch by then.
Quite a long day, isn't it?
Was it about 25 to 7 or something like that? It didn't help, of course, because Bohannon had that painful blow, which took quite a few minutes to get sorted, which is fair enough. It was about 25 to 7, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Good crowd in yesterday. I was speaking to the chairman of the cricket club as Abbas comes in and bowls. It's left by Bohannon through to the keeper, no run. He said about 1,600 inside the ground yesterday. They're kind of hoping across the 4 days they'll have in the region of about 4,000 to 4,500 coming in to watch cricket here. So he was pretty pleased with the numbers that were inside the ground, and we've got good numbers again. I'm sure it'll build through the course of the day.
Feels the same number. And looking around, actually, the potential to go a few more,
5-4 for 1. Abbas to Bohannon. It's left. It's fizzed into the gloves of Ben Brown. It's no run. If you're watching on the live stream, there, you can just see the plastic fold-away chairs that are dotted all around the edge of the ground. So you obviously can bring your own chair. Plastic foldable chairs that are probably 4 or 5 rows deep. So you'd be hard pressed to find some shade.
Yeah.
You're going to be in the sun for most of the day. Abbas, hand off the back foot. pushed away to the offside. Nick Gubbins fields at cover. There's no run.
Yeah, there was a group of Hampshire supporters, I mentioned them once or twice yesterday, that were just to our left. Sort of a group of about half a dozen that go to a lot of the away games, and they were in the sun all day yesterday, and they said they felt it, and they've gone right to the other side of the ground where they think they found a little bit of shade. And it really was that sort of day yesterday, and it's very much going to be the similar day today, so you need to be very careful.
Yeah, the Harrod Drive end of the ground is the kind of north-facing side of the ground. So the sun is going to be behind you, and there's some trees separating the ground from the houses, so you might get a bit of shade there. It's a lovely drive by Bohannon. That's 4 runs. Shots in the morning, early on. All disappearing past the media tent. And down towards the boundary. A lovely straight drive by Josh Bohannon. 158 for 1. Bohannon to 21.
That's where all the good Wi-Fi is, down that tent.
You had to go down there, didn't you, last night?
Yeah.
To finish working. Great and the good of the written media in there.
Nicked all the Wi-Fi.
Nicked all the Wi-Fi. Nicked all the sandwich bags as well.
Oh, was there some of those?
Yeah, there were some sandwich bags, yeah. Paul Edwards had them both, I think. Had our sandwich bags. So it's his ground, though. He can do what he wants. He's mad.
And does.
158 for 1. Abbas to Bohannon. Presses forward, the ball deflects off the inner half of the bat. Joe Weatherly comes up from back square leg to field. Bohannon jogs through for a single. I think you can still see it. She's forearm strapped up there by the looks of it. Did get a nasty blow. Right forearm, a bit of strapping there from carried on from last night. It was pretty discomforting, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was.
Quite a lot of pain.
There was a little spot there, wasn't there? Because I think a ball after that, very soon after that, sort of just bounced a bit from just short of a length. But actually, either side of that, not really anything of note.
I asked Williams about it, actually. Who had a good day with the ball. Abbas completely over, left by Salt. 5-9 for 1. And he said from the top end, from the Harrod Drive end, there's just a little extra bounce than there is from the Grosvenor Road end of the ground. And that's the end that just maybe just popped a bit on Bohannon and hit him on the forearm. Still got the strapping there as Josh Bohannon. 5-9 for 1. 22 and 85.
There's trains of the game going past. Very quiet, which is nice. In keeping with the surroundings and the ambience of the ground, the train. It's almost as if they've taken that into account.
I suspect the residents of Birkdale will be up in arms. Trains.
Yes.
They're very expensive houses.
I must admit, I drove the wrong way out of the ground last night. Here's Barker, comes and sort of past the diving gully. Oh, it's gone very, very quick. Probably a little too quick, really, to be a real chance. It was well wide, but again, Salt's just having a few problems outside the off stump here this morning with Barker angling it across him. He's going for it. He's driving. He's cutting, but they're not always either hitting the bat. It's going through to Ben Brown, or it's off an edge, or one or two decent shots, but there's been a bit of a mixture out there. 285, 163 for 1. It's Felix Organ in the galley. Comes Barker again then. Bowls. A little straighter this time as it's worked up to mid-on. A little fuller as well. And don't forget, you get in touch with us. Several of you are. I know that mentioned the Wi-Fi again. They sort of they're not there for a while, and then something happens with the Wi-Fi, and all of a sudden 4 or 5 drop. So we will get round to them as always, as we did yesterday. We had a lot of fun with the emails. Solentcricket@gmail.com is the email we're using today.
Could you just say it slower, please?
Yes, of course, for our northern listeners and watchers. Solent, S-O-L-E-N-T. That's if you've got a pen and paper as well. solentcricket@gmail.com. Yeah, I know. I remember 2 years ago at Liverpool, I had a lot of emails saying that guy with the southern accent, we can't understand him. He's saying it too fast. See, I don't think I've got an accent.
No.
Oh. It's just everybody up here has.
Yeah.
Here comes Barker. It's left alone by Bohannon. Nice carry again.
Change of line, that wasn't it, Barker?
Yeah.
Round the wicket instead of over the wicket this time to the right-hander.
Andrew John has emailed solentcricket@gmail.com. He says, morning guys. He says, glad to see that the quality of the coverage is back to normal. It's very nice, isn't it? To match the quality of the commentary, he says. Oh, that's talking about the stream. We've even lost the Old Trafford logo. Yes, see, Colin actually has taken those comments on board. It took him a while.
He had some good feedback yesterday, didn't he?
It seemed to take a while for it to sort of sink in. That's outside the off-stampers, Barker's around the... we did remind him a lot of time. We did present him with a list that all the watchers and listeners had sent in that were wrong. And once he'd gone through it, which took about 10 minutes, he's been slowly working through it, hasn't he, really?
Yeah, he has.
He had a lie-in this morning.
He did have a lie-in this morning.
Yeah, he was in way after us. He missed the morning run of pastries, because he had a lie-in.
They were nice, weren't they?
They were.
Yeah.
So Barker's round the wicket. Oh, he's taking the bat away, but it's actually hit the bat and it's gone to the ground. Dawson can't take it cleanly at second slip. He'll come through for a single. So, yeah, Colin... Yeah, he's obviously taken the logo on board, so that's gone.
Because he was saying Emirates Old Trafford, wasn't he?
Yeah.
We definitely know that Emirates Old
He
Trafford.
certainly
We
is.
can confirm that.
The other one was Blatherwick, although we haven't had Blatherwick the batter yet.
Couldn't get his K on, could he?
No.
The surname was too long.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the strap line at the bottom of the picture feed will be okay. I'm sure it will.
I think they can fit Blatherwick on there when it comes out to a bat.
Let's hope so. It might just be B''Wick. Here comes Barker bowls to Salt. Let's push that square on the offside. So be prepared for that, everybody. If you're watching the picture feed, it might just be B''Wick that comes out lower down. Assuming he gets a bat, of course. He may not even get it. End of the over from Barker, 164 for 1.
I think a word to all the camera operators today. This is mentioned the supporters inside the ground, but the guys providing the live stream coverage, Badger and Coombs team. This is a hot day for them as well. Not too much shade.
No.
Feel a bit for Frankie here to our left-hand side.
Well, she's in the shade.
Well, I don't know. I think she's going to get quite a bit of sunshine.
There is there was a spare umbrella. Oh, there is a spare umbrella around here.
Maybe bring an umbrella over. Oh yeah, there we go. Right in the sunshine, just to our left. Plenty of sun cream on. Don't worry. I'm slightly concerned. So I'm keeping a close eye.
And there's us.
We're all right. We're in the shade.
Quick half a second of us.
Here comes Abbas in the balls. And handing off the back foot plays into the offside, but no run.
Don't want to show those pesky commentators.
So I think, well,
They got an easy gig, don't you? Show them.
27 to Josh Bohannon. 164 for 1. We're underway, day 2. Southport and Birkdale Cricket Club. Josh Bohannon, who's had runs here in the past, actually. Got a century here, I think, for Lancashire a few years back. He's waiting for Abbas with a couple of slips in place. That's left. Gathered by Ben Brown. There is no run.
It's a good leave, that, isn't it? There's just a little hint of movement away. Certainly a little straightening there from Abbas. There's not a lot, but just enough that if Bohannon does actually decide to go at it, he's not quite in the right position, then he might be in trouble. But it's a little hint of movement, but that's about all.
Sets off again into Bohannon.
That one's got a bit more.
Yeah, Brown takes it, a little skip to his right, gathers it and runs actually across James Burns, who's at first slip. Again, Bohannon, good lead, just a little shuffle back, not interested in playing at that, watchful. Both batters having to kind of restart again. 64 for 1. 27 to Bohannon from 50 balls which he's faced. Whipped away through the onside. Barker with a pick-up and throw. Left-handed throw towards the keeper's end. Bohannon gets successfully through for a single. He moves on to 28. To 165 for 1, so lead of 23. Brings Salt back on strike. This is his first class match for almost a year. For Phil Salt. That's played in a game at Bristol in June of last year, back end of June last year. He's looking out towards the leg side. There's a deep square leg and there's a fine leg. The two fielders on the boundary there. Two slips and a gully. There's a deep point. Cover, mid off, mid on. Forward goes Salt. Defends. All scooped up by Nick Gubbins at cover. There's no run. 65 for 1. Gubbins was a bit unlucky yesterday. VW decision that wasn't great in truth. But, a rogue decision, did Nick Gubbins?
Yeah, it was a shame because the two actually Hampshire batters at the top of the order, Gubbins and Vince, who really did battle it and work hard and batted for quite a while. Both actually.
Abbas to complete the over to Salt. Takes a single through point, moves on to 86 and the score to 166.
Yeah, Gubbins sawn off and Vince probably got the best ball of the day.
Yes. Yeah, the ball that Williams bowled to Vince. I spoke to Will Williams about it last night. So I expect to say, well, got the ball like that again.
21 for
Pretty impressive knock from delivery from Will Williams. 50-run partnership from 96 balls between Salt and Bohannon. So they're batted very nicely together there. 66 for 1, half-century partnership between those two.
Got a email here from Patrick Atack, suncricket@gmail.com. To that as Barker on that Harrod Drive end. Bowl, Salt pushes that up to mid-on. Actually, before I do that, we were talking about, I turned the wrong way actually out of the ground area. I mean,
oh, yeah.
There are lovely houses around here, but actually if you go left out of here and a bit further up, which I didn't need to do, there's even bigger houses. An even wider road with an even bigger sort of green in the middle. It was just amazing.
I think there's a couple of ex-Liverpool legends that live there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they own houses there. A couple of kind of famous Liverpool players from the era when they were winning everything in the 80s.
Oh, right, yeah. Because it's a big sort of round circle, so you wouldn't go that way unless you actually either got lost like me or you were going to one of their houses. As Salt's playing a missing outside the start. There was actually no other reason to go up that road, so I suppose that would be obvious in a way. Patrick Atack says, nice commentary today. He obviously wasn't listening yesterday. Must be boiling in the box today. We're not in a box, but it is boiling. Hope you have a fan on. We haven't. Just a little poking jest about your comment, re not having an accent. Here we go. I like these emails. I haven't read what's coming next, which is maybe not a good idea.
You like to stir it up, you do?
Yeah, I do. It's a bit of fun. Here comes Barker into Salt, and Salt's playing and missing again. He's trying to play that too square for me. I know he likes that area through point, but for me, that's just a little too square that he's playing that one. He needs to be in behind that a little bit more. As a brave man once said Patrick, an accent only proves that you've been brave enough to move away from home. Perhaps this is your moment of realization. Keep up the good work, lads. He says, please don't read out the surname, I already have. I have moved away from home. I'm actually from London originally. Here's Barker. Oh, just comes back in infraction. Just trickles out on the offside. I did move about an hour and a half away, out on the south coast, but stayed south.
Yeah, obviously. You don't want to be venturing north here. It's the last thing you want to be doing.
No, London was as far north as I wanted to go. Thank you. Maybe Hertfordshire a push.
Oh, steady on.
Certainly not more north of the Watford Gap.
Absolutely.
No, that's dizzy going past there. So I've stayed down south. It's Barker again. Salt's playing and missing. That's a good ball. Well, he's been a little bit unlucky, I think, here, Barker, this morning. Salt's perhaps been a fraction lucky.
He's continued this line, hasn't he? Over the wicket to Salt.
Yeah.
He slips in a gully in place. He's not been far away, has he, Barker? And on another morning, he could still nick him out here, but on another morning, he's probably got rid of Salt already.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of indecision from Salt, a little bit. I think quite sure how to play one or two of these. Just tried to cut one, didn't he? Missed that. It's Barker again then. Left arm over the wicket of bowls to Salt. A little straighter this time. It's flicked down to fine leg, and Mohammed Abbas has given that one up. It's rolling over this very quick outfield for 4 runs. And not the end of the over that Keith Barker deserved. 170 for 1, with Salt onto 90. And I've got to disappear.
No worries. Bring Callum in for external passage of play. Through the first half an hour. It's second day, 170 for 1. A 50 partnership as well. 55 from 102 balls between Salt and Bahanam. Good morning, Cal.
Good morning.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not bad, is it? Not a bad day.
Oh, nice.
Bit well, no.
It's
Just a little bit.
just a little bit.
Just walked to the van to get my glasses and
Right.
got a sweat on.
Good.
Oh, yeah. I feel like I've run like a 10k or something.
Yeah. Find a bit of shade and sit still, don't you, today, really? He's Abbas. Run down to the third man, or at least the attempt is there by Hanham. Tried to open up the face of the bat. Stops at gully, and there is no run. Goodbye. These two, since the dismissal of Balderson late on last night, there's been perhaps a little bit of good fortune first half an hour for Salt.
I reckon he's not had too many opportunities where he's had to restart as his innings. He's normally tends to about 5, 6, 7 in the longer format, so it's probably quite new to him having to restart.
Comes Abbas to Hanham. He's beaten through to Brown. There's no run in. It's 12 months since his last game, and he batted at 6 in that match. Gloucestershire. Chance to open the batting this week with, Lancashire missing their first choice pairing at the top. Both Luke Wells and Keaton Jennings recovering from injury. So Keaton Jennings this morning is having a net this morning as he continues his recovery from injury. A couple of laps of the outfield as well. Play started. Abbas to Hanham, playing forward. Ball sneaks away past the edge of the bat. Through to the keeper, no run. So hopefully Keaton is on his way to recovery, and he clearly is. Should be still a few weeks away from a return.
Yeah, the Lancashire fans will be dying to have him back, won't they? Such a good run scorer at the top of the order for Lancashire. Same with Wales, though. They've got a great partnership when they're back together.
Yeah, they seem to kind of balance each other out quite nicely. The inner half of the bat is behind and plays off the front foot. Ball squirts away through mid-wicket for a single. 71 for 1. I mean, the two tall left-hand
Very
opening
towering.
batters. Yeah. But I think different styles, different ways of scoring.
Yeah, Wells is very much goes at the bowlers, doesn't he? Tries to not let them settle, tries to really get after him, and then Jennings is often the one who plays the anchor and gets himself in and looks to play the long innings.
This was the ground last year where Keaton Jennings scored his triple century. Match against Southport. Memorable day that was. Salt goes back and that comes off the inner half of the bat again. Just deflects away to the leg side. He's a little uncertain as to where the ball had gone there, Salt. He was kind of spinning around, looking over his shoulder, trying to work out where the ball was heading. He's into the 90s. 90 not out. He has reached 90 before for Lancashire. I think it was 97. He's got 4 first-class centuries, but his top score for Lancashire was 97. It's Abbas to complete the over. It's off the front foot, takes a single. Just eased away in front of square on the offside for 1 run. Moves on to 91, so it's 172 for 1. Salt on 91 and Josh Bahan on 29. It's a day for some big brimmed hats and sunglasses. Shorts and t-shirt weather, but without plenty of sun cream.
A fair few bottles in the recycling bin later on, I believe.
I would think so. not all alcoholic. We're by the side of the media market and the corporate market. And again, just like yesterday, it starts very civil. It's very quiet. Very gentle kind of chat going on. After tea. That's not the case. It's Barker, left arm over the wicket, bowls. So pushing forward away, Barker turns at the end of his follow through. Kind of shoulders drooped a little bit as he's another one angle past Phil Salt into the gloves of Pembroke.
Just sending it across Phil Salt really well at the moment. Just looks like he's trying to push him across and then straighten one up to him. Like I say, Phil Salt's played a miss at a fair few now. Just looks a little bit anxious in the 90s.
Barker looked a little bit frustrated there. Still searching for his first wicket of the match. Barker to Salt. Dabbed away into the onside. Chokes through for a single. 92 to Salt. 73 for one. Bring Josh Bohannon back on strike. 29 not out. She's looking to, well, bat all day, really. Second day of this game and lead at 31. Forecast set fair for the remaining days in this game, so plenty of time for Lancashire to bat well and bat big in their first innings. Barker to Bohannon, left. Through to the keeper, there's no run.
I think now they've got the opportunity, they'd love to bat once, wouldn't they? Especially if Hampshire choosing the 3 spinners they've got in the side. Obviously an out ground, so often the wickets might tear up a little bit quicker than your Old Traffords and your Ageas Bowl, so it could be quite tricky to bat on 4th innings, so Lancashire should be open to bat all day, maybe a little bit into tomorrow.
Yeah, that was the talk of yesterday, it was the team selection. Well, the contrasting views, it would seem, from the selection of both 11s as to how they think the pitch will play. Run away to backward point by Bohannon. For 1 run, he moves on to 30, 74 for 1. Liam Dawson, Felix Organ and Mason Crane. Hampshire, the team, and Tom Hartley, Lancashire 11, which in the squad did include Jack Morley, who got wickets here last year, the left-arm spinner, and it included Matt Parkinson, the left spinner, but neither making the final 11, so...
They normally have the luxury of Luke Wells, don't they, in the side, who often bowls a bit of spin. So like you say, it would have been a tricky team selection for Lancashire yesterday, but it's worked well so far.
2 balls left to the over for Barker. Salt to the single here. Nudged away to mid-wicket. He's on to 93, not out. 175 for 1. Now 33 runs. Barker's opening spell here. It's his 5th over sent down this morning. Abbas and Barker starting off for Hampshire. This is number 5 of this spell for Barker. Comfort 22. It's been the more expensive of the 2 bowlers. Bohannon beaten this time. Through it goes to the keeper, and Barker can't believe it. He's beaten the bat on umpteen occasions through the course of this 5-over spell from the Harrod drive end, but has not yet found that little nick to the keeper, to the slips. And, I suspect a rather frustrated fast bowler in Keith Barker. 175 for 1 at the end of that latest over. About 44 of the Lancashire first innings. Been handed the email console, Kevin, because Kevin's having a break. He's put me in charge of sorting through the emails. I always find a little extra pressure on this. There's Abbas, Salt. It's chopped away down to backward point. He's hurtled through the first Salt. Comes back for the second as well. So Salt moves on to 95. Score. It's along to 177 for 1. Dave Farrer has emailed with regards to Lancashire accents. Dear commentators, it's quite full. Lancashire is blessed with 3 distinct accents. I'll come back to it. There's Abbas. Balls Salt. Salt might want 2 again here. I'll just settles for a single, played out towards square leg. Moves on to 96. 78 for 1. The Liverpool Scouse accent, the ancient Lancashire Burr, Central and East Lancs, and the Manchester Salford softer tone. Thank you, Dave. We got onto accents. Oh, it was Kevin, wasn't it? He doesn't think he has a...
That's the first time I've heard a Salford accent be described as a softer tone.
I think it... Bit harsh, can't it? 71, 178 for 1. Bannon back on strike. Abbas balls, short. It has Bannon ducking and diving out the way of it. Bannon's knees pumping, chittering and chattering away to Phil Salt, who's come halfway down the pitch. Short ball sent in by Abbas. .78 for 1. 3 balls left. The over. Gets right in behind and defends. The offside, no run. Stephen sent an email to Lancashire venues. It's awesome to see matches from the outer grounds, and the coverage is superb. Thank you. He's asking whether or not, in reality, it's Sebber in Lancashire. So that's the thorny subject, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a touchy one as well with some Lancashire fans.
We're just broadening the game. Lancashire's slowly encroaching on Cumbria. Like the Roman Empire, they're taking over. Here's Abbas in and balls to Bahana. That's off the back foot, pushed away into the offside, no run.
They are building that ground, is it, in Cumbria? Is that
No, it's in Penwood.
Oh,
It's in Farrington. That's near Preston.
Right.
That's the second ground project.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's near Preston, yeah. Actually, to build a kind of secondary base, which I think, obviously, they're to play a host to first-class matches in the long term, and it will be a base, I think, for the women's team and the academy as well.
Yeah. Looks like a really good project, actually,
Yeah.
from the pictures and the plans.
So that's just outside Preston, so that's kind of central Lancashire. Final ball of the over, Abbas to Bahana, left and through to the keeper, no run, 178 for 1. And Steve says, looking forward to the day's cricket from the shade of his home in Manchester. He also says when he was 11, he was playing rugby. His first competitive match was against Sebber, so it's a ground obviously he's been to, or at least an area of the country he's been to previously. Thank you, Steve. So you can get in touch, solentcricket@gmail.com. solentcricket@gmail.com. Involved for the course the next few days. 178 for 1, so Salt on 96. He's 1 run away from matching his previous top score for Lancashire. Here's Barker to Salt. That's left and through to Ben Brown, and there's no run. He did 36.
I think it's a much better line there from Barker. The more he's coming straight, I think Salt's a lot more comfortable. And going across him, he just looked a little bit uncomfortable this morning. Don't know whether to play or leave at him. It's the way to go with Barker. Just keep sending it across Phil Salt and bring them slips and gully into play.
Here comes again Barker. 2 slips in the gully. Salt will run this away to backward point. He was on to 97. This match his previous highest score for Lancashire in first-class cricket. 179 for 1. I think that 97 came on his debut. I'm certain it was the game in Canterbury last year. Maybe it was the second match of the season. Lose track, but Certainly the very, very start of last season. I think it may have been either the first or second match of last season. 97. Left again by Bohannon. Ben Brown, no run.
If I remember rightly, he had a pretty solid year in the longer format, Phil Salt. I know he's tipped to be more of a white ball player, but he played some quite vital knocks for Lancashire last season in the longer format. Batting at like you say, 6 or 7. He was mainly at last year.
It's a great example, isn't it? The ability to go from one format to the other. But he's obviously had 4 months in the IPL as well as these blast fixtures. So it's not like coming on the back of a little blast campaign. He's had all winter playing it. It's pushed up to mid-on. Fielded by Abbas. There's no run.
It's totally different as well, because you look at them white balls these days, you're lucky to get two overs of swing out of them, if that. And these red Duke balls, obviously, they swing a lot more for longer. So it's a lot more challenging on the technique, but Phil Salt's really adapted well yesterday and today. Lovely counter-attacking innings so far.
The non-strikers in. Bohannon on strike. Beaten on 30. Barker to Bohannon. Shot allows that one to angle across him. So the gloves of Ben Brown. 2 slip fielders there with Vince at first slip and Dawson at second. Little gap to Fletcher Middleton, who dropped Phil Salt yesterday in the first over of the Lancashire innings. Costly drop. Ball of Barker's 6th over of the morning. Into Bohannon, forward. Pushes away into the offside. Pick up and throw towards the stumps by Gubbins. Safely through for a single. Bohannon pinches the strike. He moves on to 31. It's 180 for 1. Just looking elsewhere with what's going on in the other games. Everybody playing? Yeah, everyone's up and running today. Issues, I think, in Bristol yesterday with a bit of rain and wet outfield, but all the other games are in play. So Essex against Somerset. Essex are 388 for 6. Match at Chelmsford. Sir Alistair Cook made 128. Matt Critchley out for 121. Not out overnight, Matt Critchley. Surrey 18 for 2. As Abbas comes back into Bohannon. Edgy away from point. He's bouncing on the ground. That's gone for 4 runs. Right time as well as he's hoping for, I don't think, Bohannon, but he takes 4 nonetheless down to backward point. Just beyond the reach of Felix Hogan at backward point.
Just reaching quite in front of himself there, Bohannon, but Abbas is such a highly skilled bowler. He's constantly challenging your technique and your footwork, and he's bowled a pretty good spell this morning without any reward.
84 for 1. Bohannon moves on to 35. Back into Bohannon. He runs again through the offside. Might be 4 more of them out towards the train line end of the ground. Indeed, it is another boundary for Bohannon. Disappearing away through points, not where he was aiming for.
No, it's like for like, wasn't it? He's just tried to turn it into mid-wicket, I think. And he's just gone a little bit too early on the ball. Footwork not quite getting down the pitch. And just a leading edge for 4 again, and now they put deep point out.
Well, 88 for 1, Bohannon moves on to 39. Now he's 46. Frustration continues for the Hampshire bowlers this morning. And the back foot pushes into the offside. And there's no run. The 21 for 2 Surrey in their match at Canterbury. Kent making 301. In fact, maybe a little delay there. Just seen that flash up on my screen in front of me. And Warwickshire are 416 for 6. They're taking on Nottinghamshire. Sam Hay made 100 for the Bears. Warwickshire 416 for 6 in their first innings against Nottinghamshire. That's the other games Division 1. Abbas balls to Bohannon. The ball deflects away to square leg. That? No, signal by the umpire. And it remains on 39 as Abbas just checking the edge of Bohannon's bat. 189 for 1, lead of 47 now.
Keep seeing him walking back to his mark, and he just got that awkward, frustrated smile there. Just well then, where you go, what else am I meant to do?
Salt back on strike. 97 not out for Salt. Abbas balls. Salt plays forward the ball. Passing through to Ben Brown. There's no run. D7 to Salt. There's been a real measure of calmness in this innings. His approach yesterday, he was immaculate in defence. Just looked in absolute control. He was dropped early on in the first over, but since then, looked assured. But if anything, a little bit scratchy at times this morning. It's in behind this delivery from Abbas in defence. Away to the offside, and there's no run. That completes the over. 189 for 1. Lead of 47.
Yeah, I feel like he should have been a little bit nervous actually about Salt opening, because he's not really done it in the longer format too much. They've not quite got it right, you'd say, with the batting this year in terms of the top of the order, not posted too many big scores. But Phil Salt's played a lovely counter-attacking innings where he just backs his strengths. And that's sometimes what you need on a wicket like this, where it's doing a little bit. You've got a very good team attacking Kyle Abbott, Abbas and Bark, who don't really give you anything. So often them counter-attacking innings are the best ones to play, instead of just sitting there and knowing there's going to be one ball with your name on it at some stage.
Yeah, I think the way that Salt and Balderson batted actually yesterday, that kind of combination, too dissimilar to the approach from Wells and Jennings when they've been together. You know, that Salt would play kind of the Wells role and Balderson more the Jennings kind of role.
Been really impressed with Balderson this year. I think he's been excellent again for Lancashire.
Yeah, he's had a really good year, hasn't he? Contributes with the ball really well. Got some runs as well for Lancashire. Bowling change, Abbott into the attack. Ending that spell from Keith Barker. He's unlucky this morning, Barker. 6 overs for 25, but he's been replaced by Abbott, and Bohannon defends that first delivery. There's no run. Just take you through some of the Division 2 scores while we're around the grounds. Yorkshire 313 for 5. Lead Derbyshire by 202 runs. 5 wickets remaining. Durham 34 for 2. In reply to a Glamorgan total of 390 all out. Abbott to Bohannon. Deflects to the right of second slip. Dawson going to his right at second slip, and Fletcher Middleton to his left at gully. Bohannon tried to withdraw the bat there, I think. Deflects the face of it down to the right of second slip. Good stop by Dawson. 189 for 1 it remains. Abbott from the Harrod drive end. Balls to Bohannon. Edged and gone. Dawson takes the catch. Barker probably thinking, what have I done wrong this morning? As he comes out of the attack, and just the third ball set down by Abbott does find the edge that Barker was so desperately craving for. And Bohannon departs for 39, and Lancashire lose their first wicket of the morning. It's their second of the innings, 189 for 2.
Yeah, it's probably due rewards for Hampshire that they've been excellent in terms of the line and length this morning. Lancashire have been a little bit lazy outside the off stump, quite a few player misses, and this time Bohannon's nicked off to a great catch actually from Liam Dawson. Never easy slip catches, and some of them look quite simple, but the pace it travels at, never easy.
Low down to his right hand side. Both hands on it, tumbling away. Hampshire boys are feeling a bit better. Breakthrough at last. 189 for 2. Dane Villas, the Lancashire captain. Out to join Phil Salt, who remains unbeaten on 97. The two other games in Division 2, at Gloucestershire, 149 for 5, taking on Leicestershire in Bristol. And Worcestershire have started their first innings 27 without loss. They're replying to a Sussex total of 348 all out. See today with how things are looking elsewhere in Divisions 1 and 2, the County Championship. Well, Velas has not had the success so far this season that he would have been hoping for. He comes out to bat with the team at 189 for 2.
Yeah, Lancashire will be hoping he spends quite a lot of time in the middle staying, finds a form that he's shown in recent years for Lancashire. He's been absolutely tremendous for Lancashire since he signed for the club, and they'll be hoping he finds that form again.
It's an outstanding run, hasn't he? 4 years as captain. Just scratching around for a bit of success for the bat this season, but he's on strike. There's 3 slips in place, so that gully position has gone to a 3rd slip, so 3 slips. Vince, Dawson and Middleton. There's Abbott to Villas. Gets off the mark straight away, just leaning forward and opening up the face of the bat. Running the ball down to bat will point for a single. Moves on to 190 for 2. And that brings Salt back on strike. 3rd slip moves away to his right, back to gully. Fletcher Middleton. Deep back will point. Mason Crane in that position. Again, just down in front of us here. It's a deep square leg. It's a fine leg as well. Abbott, wicket so far in his first over of the day. Salt on 97. So pushing forward, the ball is passed through to the gloves of Ben Brown. It's no run.
Vince is looking ever more and more frustrated in the slip. Hands keep going on the edge. Hat off. Every time Lancashire should play and miss at one.
Proving the mood of captain. Got an absolute jaffa from Williams yesterday. Did you see that?
Yeah. How can the ball move that far?
I don't know. Abbott, the Salt, like maybe he just brought the bat inside the line. And, good bounce and carry through to the keeper. That completes the over. It's 190 for 2. Salt 97, Villas on 1. Yeah. Jack back at mile, didn't we? We're having to look back on the replay to see whether we actually got an inside edge onto that.
I don't think many are playing that, are they?
Not really.
I think it takes a special delivery like that to get James Vince out at the moment.
Yeah, Kevin was saying how much form he's been in this year. Outstanding year in both formats, both at last. And the county championship is edging up towards 800 runs. He's averaging 70 in the championship for, almost 500 runs, averaging 70, 350s and a century. Top score 186. So Hampshire captain's having a stellar year again with the bat. Abbas. Just waiting for Villas, who's taking guard. 4 slips in place. As Abbas comes in from the Grosvenor Road end balls to Villas. Eased away through the offside. Got back for a second. I didn't even think of a third here. Yeah, they're going to run 3. He's quick, he's Villas, and Salt knows it. He's determined to try and turn 2 into 3. Nicely run on a hot day.
Yeah, it's brilliant running. You'd think straight away when he hits it, there's no free. Never out there. Don't look the biggest boundary out there either. Push it into the gap and done excellent there.
Rattled through the first 2. You sense that he fancied coming back for a third. Villas moves to 4. 193 for 2. Abbas to Salt. That's glanced away down towards fine leg. Will it reach the boundary rope? It does. Has it come off the bat? It has. 4 runs and a century for Phil Salt. His first for Lancashire. back in Lancashire's championship team for the first time in almost a year. Beating this time. And back with the bag, it's excellent result. 101 not out. 32 deliveries. And a little glance down to final leg for 4. Brings his first century for Lancashire.
Absolutely brilliant innings from Phil Salt there. Exactly what Lancashire would have wanted after bowling Hampshire out pretty cheaply. And they'll be hoping he goes on now and scores a big daddy one.
101 not out. 197 for 2. Lancashire's lead is 45. That was subtle, wasn't it, by Colin? We've had an hour of play. Here comes Abbas in and bowls. Don't move my monitor. Forward goes Salt, pushing into the offside. No run. Colin, the managing, what's your title? Managing director or something like that? Oh, Badger and Coombs. Team behind Likes TV has just come and plonked himself next to me. There he is. I've got no idea why he's here. He's clearly got nothing else to do. Had a bit of a line this morning. It's been a very chilled out day, hasn't it? Now he's just watching a bit of cricket in the sunshine. Tells me he's busy all the time. Here's Abbas in and balls to Salt. That's nudged up towards mid-on. And through they go for a quick single. Salt moves on to 102. He's 198 for 2. Lead of 56 now. Brings Velas back on strike, but a memorable moment for Phil Salt. 5th first-class century for Salt. It's his first for Lancashire. Maybe a little bit of good fortune at times this morning. A few plays and misses from Salt, but reach those 3 figures. This is left by Villas, taken by Ben Brown. There is no run, so 1 ball left of the over. Abbas might be coming towards the end of his spell, perhaps. He's bowled through the morning session, hasn't he? Yeah, this is his 7th over. I think he is known for bowling at times quite lengthy spells for Hampshire. It's not unusual. It's an edged. Oh, it is, and it's not taken by Dawson. Oh, and that's that deflected through the fingertips of Dawson and hit him somewhere on the mouth. By the looks of it, it has. Well, let's hope he's okay. Flashed away off the edge of the bat from Velas. It was certainly hands on it from Dawson. I wonder if he's pushed that up and the ball has hit him somewhere on the in the mouth. We'll bring Kevin back in. I'm due an update, and Callum will join you.
Yeah, just waiting for the physio to come on there. That doesn't look particularly nice. He's trying to stop the blood with his shirt. So we'll just wait. Love to see a replay of that as well. Now that flew a bit there, Callum, didn't it?
Yeah, it certainly did. I think it's unfortunately straight onto the face as well.
There we go. We're just watching the replay now. And oh, I'm just wondering if it came off. Actually, Fletcher Middleton's hand is deflected onto his face. Middleton next to him just put out a left hand, and I think it's deflected off the fingers into Dawson. And it was going at pace as well. Dawson, in the end, was just had no chance. Dawson's at second slip. Here we go again, in slow motion. If you're watching the live picture feed, have a watch of this. Look at Middleton, left of the picture. I think that's come off his hands, into his face. Yeah,
straight off onto Dawson's face, and I've got a feeling Dawson might have just been coming on for a spell as well, because I don't think Mohamed Abbas would have been carrying on for much longer, so Hampshire will be hoping Dawson's pretty quickly back on the field, because I reckon he's got a big job to do for Hampshire today, bowling long spells in this heat.
Well, I was just thinking, just before I came back on commentary, Callum, that while everybody was applauding Phil Salt's 100, and quite rightly as well, and it's well deserved, that probably one person on the field there who probably wouldn't have been enjoying that would have been Fletcher Middleton, having dropped a fairly simple catch, you have to say, in the slips when he was on 4. And then just a few minutes later there, he's had another drop.
Yeah, it's a lot more difficult that one, you have to say, but I think Dawson will certainly be letting him know that he dropped it fortunately in the bag.
That's always the thing that I don't know where do you feel, Dominic?
Oh no, I don't go in the slips. No, I try to go point. I like it at point. It comes quite fast, but you You still see quite clearly where we're trying to avoid the slips. It's such a difficult position. It's highly skilled, and you have to do a lot of training for it as well. I think. You go to cricket stuff and the slip catches. You probably never train for it, but in a professional game, the training consistently. Like you say, they do make it look a lot easier than the job actually is.
It's always the thing that worried me in the few times that I fielded in that position is because you've got other people close in on you, and you kind of do, if the catch is sort of coming your way, you really do have to be committed. And of course, if it's in between you and somebody else, and you stay there and they stay there, then it goes in between you. It looks awful. And of course, if you both go for it, you can get in a bit of a tangle. And we've just seen there where Dawson started to move, Fletcher Middleton's already stuck her hand out. And of course, the deflections with balls at pace, that's always, that's where there's a worry, isn't it?
Yeah, like in front of the bat and in the outfield, you've got plenty of time to put your name on it, haven't you? If you're going for the catch, but in the slips, you've got no chance of saying mine, of saying your name. You've just got to literally just reactions, and sometimes you've both got a goal out of that, but it's a very unfortunate accident. Hopefully, like I say, Liam Dawson's back on the field pretty quickly. Yeah,
well, we'll try and get an answer properly about lunchtime, which is 55 minutes away. I think I saw Ian Holland onto the pitch, the substitute field. I do. He's gone into the gully area, so we're ready to get underway again. Salt is 102, Velas is 4, had a live, and ironically, spookily, he's on 4, and that was the same score that Phil Salt had a live in the slips. And it's 198 for 2, and it's Abbott from the Harrod drive end. Bowles, and he's playing this outside the off stump again there, Salt. There's been a few of those this morning.
Yeah, Hampshire will be very frustrated. More and more, you look at Vince, hands on his face again, arms crossed. You just hoping one of them just takes the feather and goes to the wicketkeeper's gloves.
Not at the moment, though, with Lancashire at 198 for 2, leading by 56 and in a very, very good position. And they're in this position because of a very good day on day one. Abbas turns once more. Comes into bowl 2 Salt, and Salt gets a length ball. She pushes out into the covers, and that's fielded by Felix Organ. Got a couple of emails to read out here. David Sheeky, afternoon to you. It's just about afternoon. Cricket@gmail.com. He says, the first ever cricket match I attended was at Southport. The International Cavaliers were taking on the Jamaican 11. I remember shyly asking Eddie Barlow, the great South African all-rounder, for his autograph. Dave's in Chester, way before you, Callum. Eddie Barlow. I think he was quite before me. I think he was coming towards the end of his career. I don't think I'd have played against him, but I think he might have been in the last couple of years. I think he was at Derbyshire. Here's Abbott Bowles, and that's a nice drive on the up by Phil Salt. Goes out to Weatherly at wide-ish mid-off, and the Lancashire total onto 199 for 2. Yeah, Eddie Barlow, a very, very good all-rounder for Derbyshire and South Africa, of course. The sun is out, and the hospitality tent next to us is it's in full flow, but it's winding up.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be far off. I've seen someone having a red wine just before 11 o'clock at home.
That's early.
Red wine in the seat.
That's early. Here's Abbott. He's walking down the wicket there, and he's playing a miss in there. So Dane Velas, well, he's always on the move, and he's always looking for something, Dane Velas, isn't he? He's a very busy player at the crease.
Yeah, very busy, very fidgety as well with some of his superstitions that he has with the bend of his knees and stuff, but just looks like he's going to go aggressive here and just try and hit himself out form and try and play that counter-attacking innings like Phil Salt kind of did yesterday.
Yeah, he's having a poor season by his standards this year, isn't he?
Yeah, not up to standards that he's set in the previous years, but
you just get the feel of his class, though. He's only averaging 12 in the championship this year, but he is a very fine player. That's outside the off-stump. Again, it's good carry. I think it's every bit as good carry today as we've seen, and in fact, at times it feels like it's going through a little quicker. The sun is really baking this pitch hard.
Yeah, it's them 3 spinners for Hampshire. If Hampshire can somehow get themselves back into the game today, them 3 spinners for Hampshire could really have a big say in 3rd and 4th day in when Lancashire have got a bat 4th. But they've just got to make sure Lancashire actually bat 4th. Because Lancashire should just be open to bat once, I think, from this position.
Yeah, I think you're right. And that's the worry from a Hampshire point of view. Because there is plenty of time left in this game. We're only in day 2 and still 50 minutes from lunch as Salt leaves that one alone from Abbas. Abbas into his, well, that's the end of his 11th over. He has 1 for 34. He's taken the only wicket to fall this morning. Bohannon caught in the slips. Great catch, Liam Dawson diving low to his right.
Yeah, excellent catch. They're never easy, especially when you're diving. Like you say, Hampshire will be diving for Dawson to get on. He's a big key in that slip card, and he's going to play a big role today as we see. Is it Mason Crane coming on now?
Looks like, oh, no, it's Felix Organ. Felix Organ with a bit of off spin. He's back in the side, not because of really runs. He was in the side at the start, opening the batting, and really didn't sort of cut it, and so he made way. Joe Weatherly back in the side, opening along with Fletcher Middleton, but Felix Organ is playing this game mainly because, well, Hampshire playing 3 spinners, expecting this wicket to turn at some point. It hasn't really been doing, and with Keith Barker bowling, oh, it's no coincidence. Keith Barker having bowled quite a few overs, especially this morning from that Harrod drive end. No surprise that Organ with his off-spin coming on at the Grosvenor No Road.
Exactly. Nice big dust balls from where Keith Barker has been bowling. A lot of marks on the pitch. He'll be hoping to produce a bit of spin.
Yeah.
Then I think they've got a short leg straight in here as well.
So I would expect sort of Phil Soles and Dane Villas to be sweeping quite a bit. That's assuming he's going to turn match out of the rough anyway. We'll have to wait and see. Dawson got one to turn out of the rough when Balderson was out yesterday. Left arm over the wicket to the left-hander. Was able to just throw it out there a bit, and it got between bat and pad. Did come back a long way, but that was out of the rough.
Yeah, I think it could be a really entertaining little period of play here, actually, because I don't think these two will look to go defensive against the spinners. I think they'll be looking to really put them under the pump.
Yeah, thinking right, Callum there. So here we go. Then Felix Organ bowls, and it's just a quiet ball on. It's edged along the ground. Good diving stop in the slips by James Vince. So Salt is 103, Villas is 4. Lancashire 199 for 2, lead by 57. Wicket yesterday, 1 wicket this morning. That's all for Hampshire so far. We've had exactly 50 overs. This is the 51st. That's Dawson. Oh, I think he's caught it first slip. Now they're going to appeal. They're celebrating. In fact, they're not even bother celebrating. Salt is taking his time to turn back to the pavilion. I'm not sure if that's because Salt is disappointed or he feels it's not come off the bat, but it's gone to first slip.
The umpire's just having a chat, or they're giving it?
Salt's having a chat with the umpires just to check. Did he think it didn't carry? It looked from here it carried.
Yeah.
It was a good grab from Vince. I'm not sure what the problem was. If you're watching the live picture feed, have a look. Here it comes. And it's forward, is Salt edged. I think he probably thought that may not have carried, but if I'm honest, I think he's hopeful.
It's got straight.
Yeah.
Really knocked off from Phil Salt. Exactly what he's put him in a really good position for the rest of the game.
Certainly is. That was his first red ball 100 for Lancashire, or his first 100?
First red ball 100 for Lancashire. Might be the first 100 as well.
I'll just double check that at some point. But a second wicket of the morning, and Spin has taken another wicket. So 2 wickets to Spin for Hampshire. The other one taken by Kyle Abbott. But that actually didn't really turn. I think he just played down fraction down the wrong line.
Yeah, I think he's just been trying to have a look, and then I think, like you say, he would have pulled out it's quite a good sweeper of the ball, Phil Salt, and so is Dane Villas, and I think they had the options that they would have gone to, but he didn't want to go too early, and Felix Organ's bowled a really nice length in the first 2 balls. He's got the edge of the first ball as well. It was identical. Second ball, but luckily this one carried to James Vince for Hampshire, and they'll be looking to pile a bit of pressure on now as Daryl Mitchell comes into bat, one of the most probably informed batsmen in world cricket, you'd say, at the moment.
Yeah, Kiwi. This is only his second 4-day game this season. Averaging 105 though. Got 100.
Yeah.
Previous one. Well, that's driven down towards mid-on, and that's gone through the hands of James Fuller, and that has gone for 4. Well, he's not hanging about.
No, his play's been really well in the first county championship game, and also the T20s that we've seen in the past few weeks. And like you say, I think he's going to take the attack straight to Organ here and try and hit him out the attack, I think, and try and get the seamers back on.
First ball, he's down the track. He's not hanging around. He's already shown us his intentions. James Fuller's just put back a few paces deeper at mid-on. There is a short leg in and the slip as Organ bowls. Down the wicket again is Mitchell. There's a more conventional shot. That's it through extra cover, 4 runs.
That's a beautiful shot against the spin, coming down the track, trapping the spin as well, and then just playing it lovely through the covers for 4. Beautiful shot.
It was. If he's going to keep using his feet like that, then Felix Organ does have a little bit of a problem. So no real spin for him yet, well, not that we've seen. Eventful over. Mitchell's already on 8. Here's Organ again. Bowls. Mitchell comes down the wicket again and hooks it high over middle on 6 runs. And that's into the fencing just behind the boundary rope, well over the head of James Fuller. And again, he's down the track. Well, he's not going to let Felix Organ bowl at him at all.
Oh, he's Felix Organ's fair enough to him. He's tossed all 5 balls up. He's not shying away from his game plan here. But he might have to just dart a few in quicker to Mitchell now.
Yeah, exactly right.
3 very convincing boundaries there.
Yeah, he's going to have to bowl it quicker to try to stop him coming down the wicket. 14, Mitchell. Organ. And there's a 4 defensive, which actually has come off the bottom of the bat, and it's squeezed past Vince at first slip, and that'll be a single. So he's got a wicket, Organ, but his first over has gone for 15.
Yeah, he's done his job though. He's got that breakthrough for Hampshire, so James Vince will be certainly won't mind the 15 runs when he's already got that wicket for Hampshire. So Hampshire will be hoping to squeeze now with Abbas from this end.
Well, it's an interesting because the 3 spinners are all very different in their own rights, and you've got Felix Organ turned it into the right-hander. So if you're going to use your feet, that's the safest bowler to be doing it. You've got Liam Dawson, who's off the field at the moment, but left-arm spinner turning it away from the bat or looking to. So that's you've got to be a little bit more careful coming using your feet. And then Mason Crane, who's got both deliveries, the googly and the leg spin. And unless you're picking him, then coming down the wicket really is suicidal.
Yeah, you'd say Liam Dawson's the most controlled spinner as well out of the 3, wouldn't you? So you'd say if they can attack Organ while Dawson's off the field, Hampshire will just be panicking a little bit.
Yeah, they'll have to turn to Mason Crane if that's the case. So Darren Mitchell will face a bit of pace then for the first time. And he's well forward there. He's taking a pace down the wicket there as he was facing that delivery. He's played 18 tests, 25 one-day internationals, and 52 T20 internationals for New Zealand.
Yeah, it's been excellent for New Zealand in the past few years, and he really burst onto the scene. He's played some fabulous match-winning knocks in high-pressure games. The World T20 semi-final against England was one that I always remember. He played an excellent knock, and he's carried that form into Lancashire, and he'll be hoping he can bat most of the day.
Here's Abbott again then to Mitchell. Mitchell gets wrapped to the pad. Big shout for an LBW. Neil Mallender says no. Well, if you could probably bet your bottom dollar if Neil Mallender said no. It doesn't necessarily mean it isn't now after what happened with Nick Gubbins. I'm sorry to say that about Mallers because he is a big mate. And, we've known each other for an awful long time, but I'm not sure the Hampshire players would have much confidence in him after yesterday's decision, and maybe the Lancashire players were a bit worried there as well.
He had a long think about it, didn't he? He had a really long think. It was one of them double appeals where you always go, oh, the double one might get the finger up here. Especially in club cricket, it normally often does. Not quite in a professional game.
You do get the feeling, though, another big shout in this over might be interesting. Here comes Abbott. Bells to Mitchell again. And Mitchell drives down the ground. My word, that's a superb shot. He does look in, Nick, and he does look very, very confident.
Just taking his T20 form into the county championship here.
Absolutely terrific stuff from Mitchell already. He is being in good form in the T20s, isn't he? I think his lowest score, I can quickly look, is 18. For Lancashire, he's had an 85 not out against Notts. 105 came against Somerset at Old Trafford in his first-class game. Here's Abbott to Mitchell, and left alone. That goes through to Ben Brown. Well, he's certainly providing some entertainment, Callum.
Yeah, he's right down the pitch to Abbott here, just trying to produce some extra pace for himself, make it a little bit easier. And just try and take that seam movement away.
Yeah, he's on 19 already. 218 for 3, so Lancashire lead here by 76. I'll tell you what, Hampshire don't want to see Darryl Mitchell out here by tea time this afternoon. The game could be way gone by then. He's been very, very positive indeed. Abbott comes in, bowls. Mitchell drives, and that's back to Abbott. I thought that had gone past Abbott and down the ground, but Abbott had just stuck a hand out. Certainly saved 4 runs there.
Yeah, certainly the strike rate that he's going at, they'll be putting a lot more pressure on Hampshire. They'll be opening after that wicket. They could relax a little bit and put a bit of pressure on themselves, but unfortunately it's probably played in Lancashire's favour even more at the moment.
Certainly has, yeah. He's going to get the game going forward, that's for sure. 19 off 9 deliveries. That is T20 striking. They've all been proper shots as well. Here comes Abbott, bowls to Mitchell once more. Mitchell gets a length ball and pushes that up to mid-off. That will be the end. That over. 218 for 3. Dane Villas just standing at the non-striker's end and admiring the Kiwi at the moment, as we all are.
Yeah, as most of the spectators are in the ground as well. So, just like you say, he's striking just short of 200, but the shots are just proper cricket shots. He's played nothing daft. He's played every ball off its merit and just played proper cricket shots so far.
Barker and Abbas wicketless, which is not often you say that about the Hampshire big 3 seamers. They've bowled, 14 overs for Barker, 18 for Abbas, and not even a wicket between them.
I think it's the rate they're going at as well, especially Barker. He's often very economical, isn't he?
Yeah.
And Abbas is just typical Abbas, isn't he? He's constantly on a length often. He hardly ever misses that 6 foot length, as they say.
So Felix Organ is going to bowl to Dane Villas, and he's probably relieved about that at the moment. So he comes in and bowls, and Villas just pushes forward and into the gap. In fact, not even really a gap, it's gone to extra cover, but they're running. And that will bring Mitchell back to the strike, and Organ's probably thinking to himself, oh dear, here we go. So Fuller is right back on the mid-on boundary now. I'm sure that's far enough. The way Mitchell was striking him in the previous over. The short leg comes out, so Mitchell's done a job. You want to get rid of the close infielders, he's done it already.
Yeah, I'm surprised he had so many men out to Vilas as well at first ball. Thought they might have cramped him a little bit more then.
Here comes Organ then, bowls to Mitchell. Mitchell goes for the reverse sweep, but there is a man at the 45. Well, that's something a bit different.
They just play it so casually these days, don't they? It's just like a normal shot for the batsman these days. It's just a normal forward defence these days for them.
Isn't it? Normal shot in your armoury. 219 for 3 then, Felix Organ. Can't keep your eyes off this battle. Organ comes in and Mitchell just pushes forward, gets a thickish edge which rolls along the ground down towards short third. They'll pick up a single. Mitchell moves on to 20, 219 for 3. The lead is 77. I'm sure too many in the hospitality tent to our right are actually intent on watching the cricket. They seem to be happy to have a natter, most of them.
I hope they do while Mitchell's striking it at the moment.
I was going to say, yeah. God, I feel like saying to them, look, just put down what you're doing, just watch. When Mitchell's facing, watch, because it's entertainment.
They're exactly in the hitting arc as well of Dane Vilas and Mitchell. They're both quite big sweepers of the ball.
Yeah. Well, Hampshire fans will certainly remember Dane Villas sweeping 2 years ago at Liverpool to get Lancashire top of the table. Hampshire came so close to winning the championship on that occasion. Villas quietly pushes out on the offside and picks up another single. Well, he's doing well. He's actually getting Mitchell back on strike.
Yeah, I feel like that's just too easy for Vilas, though. I feel like with the form he's in at the moment, I feel like the field should be a lot more attacking. If he does it a couple of times, maybe you can put your men out then.
Yeah. Yeah, almost sort of risk it, force him into doing something. Mitchell comes down the wicket, drives back to Organ.
Certainly not shying away from tossing the ball up here.
No.
I like that he's got the confidence to keep putting a bit of flight on it and hope Mitchell makes the mistake.
Yeah, good point. Mitchell's 20, facing the next delivery from Organ. Just a slip in close. As it's full, Mitchell just drives that between the bowler and mid-wicket. He's got the field back, so there's a comfortable single. He can do that all day long if he wants to. And he moves on to 21. He keeps the strike. 2-2-2 for 3. This morning, Lancashire resuming on 139 for 1. Josh Bohannon for 39. Phil Salt for 103. The 2 wickets to fall. Kyle Abbott and Felix Organ, respectively, with their scalps. Liam Dawson off the field after getting a nasty blow in his face. I think it was somewhere around the chin area, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was a bit of blood on the shirt as well, so hopefully it's just a case of letting the blood stop and then new shirt on and then back on the field for Liam Dawson.
Well, I hope so. I think he's still off, though, isn't he?
Yeah, he's still off at the moment.
Yeah. That came about because of Dane Villas edging into the slips and Fletcher Middleton just sticking out a hand and it ricocheted off his fingers into Dawson's face. Here's Abbott, bowls, and he's playing and missing outside the off stump there, Mitchell. First mistake of his. Good bowling from Abbas.
I think he's actually nicked that to second slip.
No, was he? Oh, sorry, apologies. I missed that in
think.
the light. Did that not carry? You could be right, actually, Callum. Again, example of, you know, every now and then the ball just does not carry. It's quite weird because the carry is normally lovely, and yet at times the ball doesn't carry for some reason off the edge.
Especially with Abbas, we're probably the quickest out of the three seamers, you would say.
Yeah. But again, you know, this pitch has, they were saying this, yeah, it can be a bit too paced at times. Here. Comes Abbas again. Bowls to Mitchell. Gets a short to one and just sways inside the line. Have you played here a few times, Carl?
I played a bit of junior cricket here, actually, when I was at a local college, Mysore College in Preston, and I played just some under-18s cricket while I was local. Whereas, like you say, it's a lovely ground. I don't think at the time they was hosting Lancashire games at that time, but in recent years it's become a permanent fixture for Southport and Birkdale Cricket Club, and the facilities are excellent for club cricket.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, it's perfect. If you're playing at club cricket, wow. A good spot. Abbas comes in and Mitchell drives in the air. He's got underneath it, but he's also got a bit of distance as well, and that's gone into the crowd. About 2 rows back. He's just absolutely hit that like a golf shot. A golfer with about 100 yards to go on the green.
It's just come from nowhere as well, hasn't it? He's just ducked and swayed out of a bounce, so he's just got a length ball and just freed his arms up, backed himself, and he's cleared the ropes.
Wow. It's a serious shot, that is. Just a free flow of the arms through the line of the ball. And it is. It's like he's playing T20.
Yeah, it's puts James Vince in such a difficult position now as well, because they've just got a wicket and they would want to put a lot of pressure on, but he's going to have to spread the field soon.
He is. Abbas comes in again to Mitchell. Next ball, Mitchell forward. Punches that up to mid-off where Weatherly fields. So Mitchell is 27. Villas, the quieter of the two on 6. I think it's probably just as well. We don't want him going at the same pace. I don't think we'd have enough puff. It's too hot to be calling both of these players batting at that pace. 2:28 for 3. Lead is 86, having started the day 3 behind. So they're making good progress here, Lancashire. We're only in the 4th session of the game. Plenty of time left. The weather's pretty good. I think somebody said there might be a thunderstorm late-ish today. Is Abbas bowls. Mitchell gets one. It bounces a bit, keeps it down, but works it on the onside into the gap.
Yeah, I think there was one due potentially around 7 p.m. But I feel like it might have changed again already.
Oh, is it?
Like you say, this pitch is just going to keep getting drier and drier, isn't it? It's the sun baking down on it. Tomorrow and the 4th day will be quite difficult to bat because they'll become really too paced, and the slower bowlers will come into play a lot more.
They might do, but I think it might be too late.
Yeah,
By then.
that's what Lancashire fans will be hoping for.
Yeah, well, I think it's heading that way at the moment, unless Hampshire can find something from somewhere. As Abbas comes in again, leaves something alone. That is the end of the over. Abbas has 1 for 45 from 13. 2:29 for 3. Villas 6. Mitchell 28, and that's come off just 19 deliveries. And the lead is 87. I think Scott Reed will be back shortly. It's Felix Morgan's taking his cap off. Now, James Vince is having a chat with him. Just in what Callum Flynn was saying there, that he's got to think about maybe changing the field and going a bit more defensive, because Mitchell at the moment is looking very, very dangerous indeed. Yeah,
and it's certainly not what you want as a captain. The game's difficult enough as it is, but then when the kind of controls out of your hands, it really does become an hard game to lead, and Vince will just be open. Organ can just gain a bit of pressure back here.
So here he is then bowling to Mitchell. Oh, Mitchell was going to sweep that, and in the end just pushes the bat down, and it's very full. And that goes out on the 45 of the leg side. He was getting ready to sweep.
I think they're looking. I think they would be comfortable to play sweep shots, but the length that Organ's bowled at the moment is really full, and I think if he did play a sweep shot, it'd probably be well then where it sneaks under your bat and actually bowls you. He's bowling that full.
Yeah, he did well to readjust there, Mitchell. So it brings Dane Villas back on strike. 2:30 for 3 here in a very, very hot Southport and Birkdale Cricket Club. Just It's near the coast. As he's playing forward there, and he's caught behind. Was he bowled? Yes, he's bowled. And Dane Villas just whacks the bat on his pad. He's disappointed with that coming forward, and he goes for 6. And Felix Organ has picked up his 2nd wicket. And Lancashire go to 230 for 4. If you're watching the live picture feed, have a look. Here's the replay. Organ bowls, and it's always gone between bat and pad, and that's out of Barker's rough.
Yeah, it's an absolute ripper, that. It's turned a good 3 or 4 stump length, I should say. Really outside off stump, and I think credit to James Vince there. We were saying how he's left deep cover out, and it's quite an easy single. But often that's how you get the batsman. Dane Villas probably thinks I can just prod forward, just kind of angle my bat into the covers there, get an easy single, and that's where the gap comes, and he's spun it through the gate and bowled him. So credit to James Vince and the bowler there. Organ's really not shied away from giving it a good flight since Mitchell's really attacked him. So it's been excellent from Organ to keep his nerve, keep tossing the ball up, and keep trying to gain that advantage.
Rob Jones is the new batter. Callum Flynn is just going to take a bit of a break, and then in alongside me is Scott Reed, who's back, and then I'll be back shortly.
No worries, Kev. Yeah, it was a good delivery, that, wasn't it? That's a delivery that's spun back in, landing in the footmarks created by Keith Barker, who's been bowling his left arm seam from over the wicket. 230 for 4. That's the lead now. Bottom of the screen, 88. Lancashire's lead. Rob Jones is the new batter. We've got about, well, almost exactly half an hour actually until we get to the lunch interval. Morning sessions bounce along quite nicely, hasn't it? It's been Lancashire 140 for 1 resuming this morning, so almost added 100 runs effectively. 3 wickets have gone down. It's an eventful morning session. Felix Organ with his 2nd wicket of the day as well. So Jones, a new batter, gets in behind this delivery and defends into the offside. There's no run. Wickets of Salt for 103. Bohannon for 39. Dane Villas for 6 this morning. Here's Felix Organ in balls to Jones, who's right forward. And again into the offside. No run. In Lancashire closing last night on 139. So, runs in the session, and it's to 4. It's a full ball, which Jones strikes back down the pitch and gathers.
मेरी हर सुबह होती है खुशियों के साथ क्योंकि मेरे पास है Choco Bliss की smile. Spread and share the chocolatey pleasures of Choco Bliss, spreading smiles.
Just in front of square. Just in front of square. Towards Mason Crane for 1 run to Jones. That gets him going. It's the first run of the match. In fact, it's his first run of the county championship season. This is his first game. County Championship this year for Rob Jones. 231 for 4, a lead of 89 between the two sides. Lancashire with 6 wickets remaining in their first innings. The first match for Jones, this. He's played a couple of T20 games for Lancashire, but time to play 4-day cricket. Some scores in Lancashire's second 11 this summer. Injury creating chances in the first team now. Abbott to Jones, it's down the leg side. It's a good take by Ben Brown, tumbling away to his left. Remains at 131 for 4. Jones comes down, there's a little bit of gardening. 25 minutes till lunch. One more would be happy for Hampshire here, wouldn't it, in the final 25 minutes of the second day, the morning session. Jones gets forward, defends again. There's no run. They'll scout around the grounds elsewhere. Essex 456 for 9 in their first innings. They're taking on Somerset this week. 2 centuries in that game, one for Sir Alistair Cook and one for Matt Crutchley. Essex 456 for 9. Kent have got Surrey at 40 for 4. In reply to their total of 301 all out. It's Abbott. Balls to Jones. The front foot shapes away a little from Jones into the gloves of the keeper. There's no run. And the other game in Division 1 is Nottinghamshire against Warwickshire. Warwickshire 455 for 7. Game at Trent Bridge. 4 Division 2 games all in play as well. Yorkshire lead Derbyshire by 240 runs at 351 for 7. Durham 94 for 3, trailing Glamorgan by 390. Gloucestershire 188 for 6 against Leicestershire. Worcestershire 68 for 1. Abbott balls, that's defended by Jones, there's no run. Worcestershire 68 for 1. He replied to us a 6 total of 348. All out. Here, 231 for 4. Jones on 1, Mitchell on 29. Kevin's back on.
It's got a little bit quiet since Villas' dismissal, hasn't it, really?
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much Mitchell's faced the strike recently, but even so, he's very watchable, isn't he, Daryl Mitchell?
Yes, he is.
Can't keep your eyes off him.
That 6 he hit, that straight 6 he hit earlier on, that's been, I mean, he's played that shot umpteen times already this season, in both formats. Sort of strong down the ground. Jones gets forward and defends, no run. He's looked at class above at times, Mitchell.
Yeah, the 6 off Abbott. Wide mid on. Cool.
Yes, yeah. I can hit it, can't he?
It's not like Abbott's bowling badly. It's just, he just sees the length early, doesn't he? And then just knows that he can hit through it, and it's a safe shot. It's a great shot. It's the best of his shots. He's played a few already.
89 for Lancashire. Abbott to complete the over. 5 dot balls. Set down. Jones has defended them all. Left a couple. It's 4 to this next delivery. The ball ricochets away back down the pitch of the pad of Rob Jones, who got nicely forward outside the line of off stump on that front foot. Now, not had chance this season too much, Rob Jones, to contribute. First game of the championship season for him, but the chance, with the opportunity to try and see if he can try and get his 4-day season up and running.
Just peering past Scott Reed there. Hello.
Sorry, Kevin, I'll lean back.
No, but please, no, I just
Don't
didn't
want to,
want to steal my picture, did you, really?
I don't want to steal your picture now.
I've neglected the emails a little bit, so I'll try and get through 1 or 2 of these because we are 25, just under 25 minutes till lunch. Must keep an eye on Mr. Mitchell. It's Felix Organ on. He's just tinkering with the field on the leg side. It's just quite at the boundary at deep backward square legs. Here's Felix Organ then with his off-spin bowling to Mitchell, and Mitchell comes down the wicket, just turns that away down towards Abbott. Picks up a single, 30, he moves on to 232 for 4. Howard Chambers has emailed solidcricket@gmail.com. He says, as a keen Lancashire fan exiled in Greece, I have to follow Lancashire around the circuit by various live feeds. Not wanting to gloat, but the Lancashire stream is certainly one of the better feeds around, in my experience. Great to have the commentary synced with the pictures. He's also included his Greek phone number on the email. I'm not sure I'm going to need that, if I'm honest, but anyway, that's turned away on the leg side by Jones, and quickly across is Nick Gubbins, but a single it is. I mean, if he wants me to phone him, I will. I'll use your phone. You can pay the bill.
Use the work one.
I'll use the work one. But thank you for that one. So 233 for 4. Darryl Mitchell is back on strike. What's he going to do here? Felix Organ bowls, forward defensive. Great contest between these two. Felix Organ's picked up 2. Whether he would have been actually on at all with Dawson off the field. Would have been interesting, but he's picked up 2 for 23. He's into his 4th here. Bowls, and Mitchell comes down the wicket, but just plays the forward defensive. Obviously, he felt he wasn't quite to the pitch of that, and mid on and mid off a back, so he knows that if he goes aerial, he's got to come out somewhere near the middle of the bat. Gets back to Organ. Just takes his time, looking to bowl into those footmarks of Keith Barker's. There's the reverse sweep for Mitchell, goes in the air. Just down the leg side fractionally. Vince was scrambling across from first slip, although it looks like it's come off the pad. It has. Umpire Rob Bailey signals so, and it's 234 for 4. The lead for Lancashire is 91. That brings Rob Jones, and the field comes up a little bit. Mid on and mid off come up. Short legs it. Jones. Shot over the top side if he wants to, just pushes forward there. It's an all game when somebody else is batting and not Mitchell. You just feel there's a boundary sort of around the corner when Mitchell's batting. It just feels a little different when, certainly when Jones, although he's in the early stages of his career, so his innings. So he's just trying to get the feel. Darryl Mitchell didn't bother getting the feel, he just came down the wicket straight away.
He's going to give it a wobble, didn't he, straight away? He's in great form though. The red ball and white ball teams for Lancashire this season. Looks it too, doesn't he? 39, that's out. Type of player where he's out there for kind of 40 minutes or so, and already got 35, 40 to him. Too much kind of drama. Contest, this isn't a top high class contest between Abbas and Mitchell continuing. Mitchell just pushed it towards mid-on where Barker fields. Chucks through for a single, moves on to 31 not out. 235 for 4, so lead now is 93. Field changes a little bit for Jones. They're going to have reinforcements behind the batter. They've got 2 slips and a gully. Crane just comes into battle point. There's a cover, mid-off. Mid-on, mid-wicket. Fine leg. Run down to 3rd man by Jones. Over the boundary rope. Towards the front row of spectators just beyond the rope. To Jones. He moves on to 6, 239 for 4.
Just seeing the spectators there behind the ball when it went over the rope. They looked hot.
They did a bit, didn't they? These plastic chairs that they're sat on too, that could be quite a sticky afternoon, couldn't it? Might take a bit of pricing off those chairs. The ice cream van on the far side of the ground, that'll be doing some business today.
Ooh.
Abbott to Jones, that's defended again. Goes out toward Mason Crane. It's just battled a point, and there's no run. In fact, there's a queue forming at the ice cream van already.
Is it the same ice cream van that was actually to our right yesterday? Because I'm sure there was one to our right.
What? And I think that one was yellow. This is kind of like a pinky colour.
Oh.
There it is. Actually, I thought there was a queue for him, but there's appeared to be. They're just some people just stood there by eating their ice cream.
There's nobody having an ice cream right now.
I think there's 2 guys there just having an ice cream, but there's nobody in the queue. This is the time to get to the ice cream van.
Yeah.
You need to be quick with the ice cream today, don't you? It'll melt all the way down your hand. Jones waits for Abbott. It's off the front foot, defends again to mid-off, and there's no run.
I mean, I would have bought you an ice cream, but by the time I walk back, it won't be around. It'll be gone. So only for that reason,
Okay.
I won't buy you one.
I think that's actually, even though you had no intent of buying me an ice cream whatsoever, that is actually quite a genuine reason not to. I think that's acceptable. It will have completely melted by the time you get back here. So it's a beautifully timed excuse.
Thank you.
Perfectly waited for this hot day. Can't get you on. It's going to melt away down my hand. 2-3-9 for 4. Eased away to the offside by Jones. Picked up cleanly by Mason Crane. It's going to sneak through for a quick single. Moves on to 7. 240 for 4. Lead now is 98. Darryl Mitchell back on strike. Felix Organ disappearing out towards the deep square leg boundary in front of the railway line. There's a fine leg. Crane drops back to the point boundary just in front of the corporate marquee. 2 slips, gully, cover, mid off and a mid on. The ball at the over for Abbott. Doesn't offer a shot. The ball's, it appears, come back in as Ben Brown, the keeper, takes it away to his left-hand side. Mitchell didn't offer a shot, allowed it to go past. Just a little bit of late movement back in as Brown took it. Certainly a reaction from Brown and from the bowler. The end of the over, 240 for 4. Lancashire lead of 98 runs. We've got 15 minutes left of the morning session.
Email here from Jerry St Clair, solentcricket@gmail.com, under the heading of Fun Cricket Event. He says, afternoon. He says, enjoying the game on this sunny Monday lunchtime with some corned beef sandwiches in the garden with my friend Brian. We're planning a cricket day at our club, the Phoenix, which is in Bolton. Does that mean anything to you guys? No? They're both shaking their heads. If you guys don't, I certainly don't. Which is going to feature talent recruitment by Dougie Hayes Talent Agency. Other talent agencies available, of course. But on this particular day, it's the Dougie Hayes one, as that's pushed forward by Rob Jones out in the offside. Started a new over from Felix Organ. And this is for anyone interested in playing there on the day. So really appreciate you reading this out. So it sounds like there's some invitations going there if you want to play, as that's driven out towards mid-off and there's no run. The event will also have live music, entertainment and catering. So it will be a great day out for families. We're also looking at getting the event hosted by David Lloyd himself.
Oh, boy.
Thank you very much, gents. Loving the game. Hoping for a Lancashire win as Organ comes in. Bowls. Jones on the back foot. Misses. Just to push that away. A bit too square on the offside. It was a little too close to him for that one. But sadly got to go to the doctors this afternoon for a scan. So can't watch much more. Take care and thank you very much, says Jerry. Good luck with the scan this afternoon. Organ is ready. 240 for 4 in again. Bowls. Jones drives back to the bowler. So much happening when Jones is facing Felix Organ. It's almost as if you're anticipating Mitchell getting back down there and seeing what he's going to do.